Amy, you're such a tease. Where do you pee? And Stu flew too close to the sun. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
How are ya?
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
I'm all right. I was a little thrown this morning when I texted about what time we were going to record, and you told me that you were in carpool line.
Well, I said I'm doing school drop-off.
I haven't done school drop-off in a really long time.
Yeah.
So you're like bringing it back for me.
My
I'm
life
like,
is not your
oh.
life. This is correct. I do school drop-off. This is the last week of school, so our lives are titsy-turvy right now because there's
I love that phrase.
There's-
Why should it be your topsy that's always turvy?
You're topsy-titsy. We have got way too much going on. It is. I always call May mini December, and it's not so. May is apocalyptic December. There is so much shit happening in such a compressed time frame. It's all critically important. It's all rah-rah to you, and let's make this formative memory that you'll never get back again. And fuck, is that happening right now? You know, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's
and
too
how did I miss this or
much.
forget
Yeah.
that? I had all that information in Melissa's
Yeah.
doom pile. Did
Yes.
somebody throw it out or clean
Oh
it
my
up?
God,
Because
the
I
doom
would have
piles.
remembered.
I'm keeping my vibe high. I'm not getting sucked down. I got to keep my vibe high. It's the only way that I'm going to make it through. And I keep getting opportunity upon opportunity. And all I keep saying is yes. And that's on one level great. And on all practical levels, really not great.
This isn't even the year of yes. This is the next year of dear God.
I'm dear Godding. I should be saying dear God. And instead I'm going, yes, yep, yeah, affirmative, agree, check, I'm in, let's go. So my voice, as you can hear, is no longer under my, that's my youngest. That is his go-to sentence no matter what's happening. A TV show that he likes comes on. We're having, donuts for breakfast. Whatever the thing is, it's let's go. That's what he does.
I love it
continuously. My voice is no longer under my control because of far too many consecutive days of ballet cheering, bravo, and lacrosse cheering, and graduation cheering, and screaming cheering, and happy joyful. And somebody was, I don't like making this joke, but it's too fucking good to keep it to myself. Somebody said, I don't know who made this year's pollen, but it got fentanyl in it. And that's the truth. I mean, I don't like joking around about fentanyl, but it fucked us up hard. And I sort of lost the beginnings of my throat to the environs, and then my actions took all the rest of it away. So I got yelled at by a referee yesterday. It's a lot. I've never been yelled at by a referee. So there's a whole lot going on in my
Really?
life. Oh yeah. I'm the quiet one. I'm the calming people down one. We play lacrosse, and I venture to say that we will never play in the South again because
they won't have you?
They won't have us, and I'm not making a joke. The kids' team is far and away better than anyone else. The hard part becomes they are targeted and penalized for it. They stack the teams against them with kids who are too old, so they have older kids who are ridiculously physically bigger than them, high school kids playing these little 7th and 8th grade
ridiculous.
kids. It does.
Yeah.
And they're coming at them guns because all they want to do is
beat them.
Is take on this team, and they play dirty, and they actually go for injuries, and they are ugly in their souls and in their hearts. There is one entire league in particular, and I'm going to call them out because everyone knows it. It's FCA, and it stands for, the F is something like foundational or something like this. Whatever it is, it means like a national.
Please tell me that the C does not stand for Christian.
Christian.
Because that would be
Christian.
Well, isn't that just the cherry on this fucked up Sunday?
I learned this just yesterday. Travel lacrosse costs a lot of money to go, to even participate in the league. It has expenses that you cover, and it costs a lot. Their costs are actually double what we pay, and we pay a lot. So I was amazed to hear this, and they're franchised. So they're everywhere. They're up north, they're down south, but they consistently have the same attitude, guidelines, goals. They talk more F-bombs on the field than I've ever heard in my life. Three of them got thrown out during a game for saying F you to the ref in the game. So that's the level.
The Christian
with the
group
Christian
that you are playing.
with the Christian on the front, right? So I was just so over it. They were targeting, they were coming after our kids, and God bless them, our kids didn't get rattled. And the other part of it is, even saying all this stuff, we end up beating them 18-0. So it's a demoralizing game. And when you are anyone, particularly a teenage player, getting your hat handed to you when you already went into it with a chip on your shoulder, you make bad choices. So that's what happens.
So they made bad choices, meaning illegal hits, like they're
too aggressive, everything crazy, and frankly,
yeah. And what'd you do that got you yelled at by a ref?
My son plays defense, and he regularly has zero contact because he is in a situation where he'll stop the play, disrupt the play, get the ball, get rid of the ball, which is, he does exactly what he's supposed to do.
That's his job.
He's quite good at it. So for the first time ever, I have ever seen this happen. He was he's been double teamed before, but he usually gets out of it. He was double teamed. So two very large people came at him, attackmen were charging the goal. He interrupted them, got in between them, got the ball, and they physically went at his body. So their bodies on his body, two of them sandwiched him, knocked his ass to the ground, and when he was down, took their sticks and, air quotes, went for the ball. So brought their sticks in toward his chest in what looked to me like they were swatting in the stomach. And this is, frankly, not all that crazy in lacrosse. It happens very fast. Many times things like this happen. It's accidental. It's not motivated by anything other than, I want that ball. You're in the way of the ball. Too bad for you. So I get that it's an aggressive, overly violent sport. I get all that stuff, right? It's just as bad as football, okay? There's part of this that's part of the game. But when I saw my kid hit the dirt and then take a hit on the ground, I was out of my seat. I screamed at the full volume of an adult male. Fortunately, all I yelled was, throw the flag. That's all I yelled. Because they didn't even throw a flag on the play. That's how inept the refs were in this game. Didn't throw a flag. But I was up and loud. And then the ref at least blew the whistle and stopped everything. Because he hadn't even blown the whistle at this point. So never did get the flag.
And our boys on the ground eating dust and
getting
poked.
Both of those two were, something happened after the fact where they walked off. So they were either pulled off or there was a flag and I didn't see it, or I don't know what to say, but it was not, I wasn't having it. And I couldn't believe it. And after I had made such an embarrassment of myself in a scene, other people were, yelling.
You couldn't help it.
Well, a lot of times you call in these situations, you also goad the ref into making a call because they don't always see everything. It happens so quickly, and it's always a judgment call. So if somebody has a slash, which is a certain way of having contact with the stick, it could just be like sometimes they hit the helmet. It's never okay to have a stick on a helmet, and 20% of the time it doesn't get called, and that's okay because the kid,
it's like
the kid
contact
slipped.
just happens.
It just happens, and it's a certain
incidental
point.
Contact.
Bingo. So anytime there's one where a judgment might be made, parents weigh in with a whoa or something, or come on.
Are you fucking kidding me? Out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, so I did that, and then everybody else was like, whoa, doing this, and he stopped in his tracks before he dealt with the kids on the field, turned around, looked at our line of parents who were all seated at this point, right? And says, parents, I forget what he said, something like keep it quiet or go to your car or something like this. Shut it down. Like something, he didn't tell us to shut up, but it was effectively that in whatever words he chose. And I was already in it. And I said, then call the game to his fucking face. So I'm waiting for him to throw me off the field. And he just turned back around and got back to what he was doing. And for me, that's as good as taking a knife and jabbing him 8 times in the kidney. Like, that's not how I behave. And I was so embarrassed. And I kept telling everybody, and they're like, I'm glad Amy's on my team. And I'm like, stop it. I'm the exact opposite of who you want on your team and all the rest of this stuff. So anyway, so yeah.
How many years have you been doing this? And this is the first time they've seen that Amy?
9. 9 years. 9 years.
And this is their first view of that Amy?
I'm sorry. And just the day before, a friend of mine had her kid. I missed it, but one of the other players target attacked him, and she said, "Keep your hands off my kid," and called out the number.
Shit.
Well, that's how it usually goes. You usually call out the kid who's doing the infraction by number and tell him, like, I don't care if there's a ref here. I'm solving it myself. So we've got another friend, Sandy, who regularly does this. She's
Sideline justice.
Well, Sandy's hilarious because she don't fucking play. She'll sit there, and if she doesn't like the way, keep your hands off my kid, 14, or whatever it is, and then she won't stop. Like 2 and 3 plays later, she's like, "I see you, 14. You're going to drop that ball." Like, she gets in his fucking head. And I'm like, Sandy, that's, come on. But it's kind of like, oh, my God.
It's hilarious and abusive at the same time.
Yes. And then he's like all fucked up and he drops the ball. But it's like, at the same time, I'm sad to say, you can identify kids who are unskilled and overexcited compared with kids who are punks taking shit shots. And this was a team.
You've been doing it so long.
This was a team full of kids who were motivated to cause harm. They were the kids on the field the kids on the field said, "Why don't you sit down? Shut up, parents. What are you doing?" Kids talking to the parents. Yeah. And what am I going to say? It's a teenager. It's somebody else's kid, and I'm yelling like an imbecile anyway. So I shut my mouth. But I'm also sitting there thinking, I've got a couple different acronyms for what FCA could really stand for. So, I mean, it's just the icing on the cake that their entire mission is to demonstrate that they are, following a moral code.
That's it. It's not bad if you don't have Christian in your title.
Still bad.
It's
still bad,
but it's acceptable in sport. It's acceptable in competition. You watch adults all the time have all of these they have jails in the New York State arenas, and I think Philly too, actually. They understand that alcohol plus sports equals holy shit, you need the authorities. But these are kids. You're in a faith-based organization that's running you. That's the shocking part. I have talked on this pod about how I yelled at a ref before in my son's honor, and he was more like, you can't walk away from that without shaking because you're in real life and you're being forced fight or flight, or for me, freeze. And it's normally freeze, but for my kids, it's fight. Like for my kids, I jump to. But when you're dealing with a faith-based organization like that, you don't expect, or you expect them to at least put up a better fight because you still kill them. So it definitely piled on. By the end of the game, was it just, we just have to get out of here? Did it just get so bad?
No, it was. Oh, and I'm leaving out my favorite part, which I only learned after the fact. In addition to just witnessing the targeting and abuse and the frustration that our kids have to put up with. It's just, I could say in reverse, having to witness the humiliation and the frustration and, the how do you deal with that? That's what the other kids were having to put up with. But they were trained to deal with those emotions. They participate in a league. The fish stinks from the head. If your coach hasn't been pulling you off the field or pulling you out of the game for some of the shit that you're doing, that means that you were either told to do it or there's no penalty for doing it, which is the same as being told to do it. So It's just, it was, by the end of the game, we were all just vibrating and so glad to be rid of them, and unbelievable.
I started the show saying, you're such a tease. You ended our last show with like 2 stories in the bank that I desperately need to hear. But I'm going to tell you how my husband flew too close to the sun.
Again?
So for my 40th birthday, he threw me a surprise party, and maybe 35, we did something somewhere together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Phil ruined it for the 40th when he walked out of the restaurant because he had to put his sunglasses in his car, and I said, "Phil, what are you doing here?" It was, "Oh, Stuart, what have you done?" Well, this time he thought he could get away with bigger and better. Why not? I've only been caught twice before. So I don't really understand what it is about him that feels the desire to pull off a surprise. And if he does, and it's something that is really important to him, think smaller, because when there are so many cogs in this massive, massive machine, it's just all the wheels are off, right? All the wheels are off this school bus, and it's now just sparks flying.
It's so fucking stressful for the rest of us. We're intertwined in so
Stress
many
not.
ways.
Right.
And so all I have to do is lie. And pro tip, I can't lie. It's not that I don't like lying, which I don't, or that I'm not good at it, which I'm not. I physically can't do it. It ties me up in knots, and I'll figure out a way for it to come out. So because my body can't accept it. So the only thing that I can do is avoid you. Right?
Oh, I have to just my feelings.
I have to just be out. So this whole time it's like, yeah, I got to shut down all conversations. I got to not answer. I got to ghost in the group text. And then everybody's like, why are you doing this in the group text? Because I can't because otherwise I'll come in. There was this episode of Cheers 1,000 years ago for people who watch Cheers. And Kirstie Alley's character evidently can't keep a secret because she's a big gossip. So she hears a piece of gossip at one end of the bar, and she starts telling it by the time she gets to the other end of the bar, right? Everybody's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So then she shoves a whole packet of saltines in her mouth and starts talking with the saltines spitting out. And she's like, you've got as long as this cracker lasts. And it was just the funniest thing because I was like, I know how you feel, Kirstie. I do.
Poor girl.
I
Poor
know
girl.
how you feel.
Well, it started out as simply, here are a few of your friends. And I thought, well, that's lovely because, I mean, the house isn't that big at the shore. It's a Monday. It's that's great. And it has come to light that it is more than a couple of my friends. It's all but one of my friends who will happen to be in Spain at the time. And so that's all but one. And then I said, well, at least we're not mixing home friends and school friends. And then everybody went rigid. Everybody.
I had to look away.
Everybody froze. Nobody moved. And I thought, you're really putting together people who don't know my past? Like I've carefully curated the human I am here because I have children. And except for the one time I did scream at a ref, do you have any experience with children? That was positive. And I just lost my shit. I'm pretty sedate here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's unfolding and the wings are coming off that phoenix as it melts into the sun. Yes, that was actually Icarus that flew too close.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is he obsessed with gifting you this thing that you never want?
You ask valid questions. And knowing all of this now, I said, now that I know, can I make it something that I want? Like, can I don't know, pick the menu for something, or can I make it so that it is not $8 million? Because that does not make me happy. That stresses me out. Can I tweak some things? And he's like, whatever, fine. Can't ever fucking surprise you. Correct.
Yeah.
Please stop. Correct.
Yeah. I agree.
So yes, the wheels, all 18 wheels are off this truck, and I'm aware of, I would say 79% of what's happening.
Well, I mean,
only because my friends are fucking wild cards, and I don't think anybody knows 100% of what's happening.
Not even Stuart. Well, I mean, it's really hard. Especially. I feel for him because, I mean, it's his birthday, and he wants it to go exactly the way that he's always dreamed it would be. Right? With this big surprise that makes him so happy. Oh, wait, it's your birthday.
It's my birthday. I'm like, it's not his birthday. Yeah. Brian, my daughter graduates in less than a month.
That doesn't make any sense. That absolutely doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, if you have information on where this past 3 years has gone, I'd be open to hearing it. But no, in reality, it doesn't make any sense.
What in the world is she... Oh, my God. I had no idea.
Not that I'm not aware that time passes, but like all sandwiched into this, I also realize I had children 15 minutes apart, and this is my fault. But I went from getting one in and out of diapers. Oh, there's the other one. Nope, never out of diapers. Okay. So each phase that we go through is over twice as long because we over prepare than everybody else's phase. And then they have downtime before the next child hits there. We don't ever have that downtime. But thinking about when this phase is over and they're both off in college, I'll have too much time to breathe as opposed to the nunts that I've had prior.
I can't even envision having too much time to breathe. It is such a luxury for me at this point. I had too much time to breathe, and I was like, what's this about? I don't even, okay, maybe I just will do nothing but breathe.
And then May hit, and you're like,
And now
all right.
I'm like, what happened to all my time? I don't
It's
even,
May.
I think I fully embraced the mentality and the reality that I have flexibility to say yes and go do, and there's nothing getting in the way of this. And then unfortunately,
You over-yesed.
when you do, I over-yesed.
You over-yesed.
I over-yesed. And this week it's coming home to roost. So
With no voice.
Well, with no voice. And it's very frustrating because just as soon as I feel like it's coming back, I'll have another 2 or 3 day stretch of overexertion, and I sort of can never really get it back. Here's where I'm wishing I was a better person this morning, because I mean that I wish that all the time, and I need sort of like, what's it going to be today? All the kids graduating. We've got a beloved friend with a college graduate who I know this. We have you with a high school graduate. I know this. We've been talking about this, and somehow the image of the cap and the gown and all of the trappings somehow didn't click in my head. I've got a niece who graduated from college, and I'm like, yeah, how'd I fucking miss that? So I can't keep calling it COVID, but something has fundamentally pierced my brain like a sieve. So now all the good stuff is just sort of flowing around me.
Falling out? Is it just like pouring out the hole?
Yes, and only the sediment remains in the top part. I need to invert this plan, do like the reverse sieve, where all the good stuff stays in and all the sediment flows out. Like, how do I get that to happen? I'm very frustrated with
That's nonsensical.
with some
That will
things.
never happen.
Bingo. So I'm just trying to keep my vibe high, moving through life. It could always be a lot worse, right?
That's your Generation Z word of today. Vibe. If I hear it one more time. Oh, it's such a vibe. Well, what kind of vibe is it? No, Mom, it's a vibe. I know what a fucking vibe is. I'm asking you, like, there's a good vibe and a bad vibe? No. Okay. So you're
I love
just
that that you
this
perceive
feeling.
this as Gen Z because it's a hippie term from the 60s.
And
which
they're
is where,
taking it.
When they don't get to take it. It's about keeping my vibration high. So I know what vibe is. It's not just, I don't know what vibe is. Yeah.
They've taken it.
No, I don't care what they think they have. They don't know.
They think they've taken it. You're
They're
right.
so dumb. They don't know.
They are dumb.
They don't know. Throw a flag. Sorry.
So,
That was light.
Ref, throw a flag.
Oh, it frightened me. It was so loud. So anyway.
You left our last episode sharing about a crazy story that happened while you were out with alcohol and firearms.
First of all, we were at, well, which one do you want? They're two separate events. Do you want to hear about the firearms or the alcohol with the political figure?
Choice B first. Yeah.
The political figure?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are 1, 2, 3 country clubs in town. I belong to none of them. Frequently, I will end up in these spaces because the people who buy a house on the golf course end up going there or get a summer membership to the pool or one of these things. So it's a mixed bag. The place is for lots of folks who have been there for generations, and then the new folks who are there for the pool or the golf or the tennis or the whatever. That means you end up sometimes in the bar because you went to the pool that day, or in the restaurant because nobody else has a reservation and this place is always open. So we happen to be in one of those moments, having a grand old time with friends, chatting. And because we were in that location, the friend busts out with, didn't I ever tell you? Oh yeah, just last summer, Senator Boop, like I'm not gonna shame this person, was in here, because I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. That person's a member, right? Was in here. And she was at the bar with my neighbor, right? And the way the bar works, they have their own wine and alcohol. It's full bar. But if you want that, they'll also do corkage. So if you want to bring your own, they have a limited selection of wine and a full bar. But if you want to bring your own, they'll keep it behind the bar for you and serve it to you as you like, because you're a member.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's just a nicer way for people like, I like to drink what I like to drink, and it's cheaper for you to charge me. So anyway, so this neighbor had her wine behind the bar. And it was a celebratory. It was a nice bottle in this case.
Okay.
The bartender poured a glass of wine. The senator took the glass of wine and started to drink the glass of wine. So that to me reads like a mistake, but it was told to me like it was not a mistake. So the neighbor looks over and says, "Excuse me, Senator, you're drinking my wine." And the senator says, so get another glass, which is already kind of douchey. So get another glass. And she says, that's my wine. And she says, fine, order another glass. So they start ramping it up. And then
I don't think the senator understood that it's the bottle I brought from home that you have.
After back and forth, the senator says, if you can't afford another glass of wine, you don't deserve to be here. And the neighbor was physically removed before punching her in the head. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think they were both a little half lit or maybe super tuned at that point.
I hope they
anyway.
were both drunk.
This
is a state
it.
senator. This isn't a U.S. senator.
This is somebody everybody knows. And I'm like, how has that, what? And the woo. Yes. High profile punch shenanigans. Cannot. If you can't afford another glass of wine, you don't deserve to be here. Not you don't belong here. You don't deserve to be here. What kind of, just who even says, that's like Reese Witherspoon, don't you know who I am? You heard that one when she got arrested.
I sure did, when she got pulled over.
Yeah, okay. Crazy. And it only came up, I think, because we were there and also because there was a local election that just happened, for a primary election. So we were talking about politicians anyway. And this person was on the ballot. Crazy. Not nearly as bad as the new neighbor. Friends of ours bought a house, moved into a new neighborhood where there is, one of the neighbors has a significant outbuilding that has, it's like a carriage house. So somebody could actually live in it. Come to find out that the whole street knew that the husband was using the carriage house to meet prostitutes.
Really?
On his own property in his carriage house.
All of a sudden
with
interested.
His wife in the house, main house. He
Did
would go
she
out
know?
to, no. He would go out to the carriage house. Everyone else seemed to know. She discovered this by walking out to the carriage house for some purpose, discovering him in there with the prostitute. And this is where the gun comment comes in. She looked the woman dead in the face and said, I'm going to walk back into my house and get my gun. If you're still here when I get back, I will kill you. So you have that long to get out of my house. And she went back into the house, and then the woman left. I mean, crazy.
Of those two comments,
yes,
I have no problem with the gun comment. I think it's much more offensive for your state senator to have said, if you cannot afford to share or have...
If you can't afford a glass of wine, you don't deserve to be here.
Yeah, that human needs some knees that are popped out from under her.
That's just so... It's such a weird flex.
I think even your ref would have thrown a flag on that one.
The whole thing starts out with, you're drinking my wine. Is not your go-to move. I'm sorry. Here. Why is that not the first thing you say as reasonable human USA instead of someone who was elected and has the eyes of the world on you? Like, that's the part that I don't understand. Oh my God. Just another thing about FCA, because it reminds me of this wine comment, right? Somewhere in there is the idea in making that you don't deserve to be here, and I do, and I get to control who drinks what wine because I have been gifted this authority by the higher power. The same team, FCA, had an unruly parent the day before. She brought a cowbell, which is specifically against the tournament rules, and she was using it. First of all, to have it is really bad because they're super loud and distracting. Multiple games going on. It'd be like using a cowbell at a gymnastics meet indoors.
Or an air horn.
Yes,
what are you doing?
Can't.
It's the same thing.
It disrupts everything. It doesn't do what you think it does, right? It actually, okay. So there was a bit of a scuffle and a back and forth. People saying, put the cowbell away. What's the matter with you? Blah, 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 blah. And she starts ringing it louder because, of course, she's got Jesus on her side. So she's ringing it louder and louder, and people are telling her, shut the fuck up. Like, what the hell, right? And she actually said, but we're a Christian school.
If she said we're an agriculture school, that would have made more sense.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Thank you.
I don't remember Jesus walk. I understand that hippies have bells on their skirts and ankles when they walk, but that's more of a cha-ching.
Jesus
cha-ching,
wants you to
cha-ching.
put down the cowbell.
Jesus had nothing to do with a cowbell.
It was just, yeah, you don't deserve to be here, but
You're
we're a Christian
so
school. Yeah.
close to all the things that really trouble me about this country.
Well,
You
they came
are-
up from Florida, but anyway, yes. Crazy,
Oh, that makes a
crazy.
lot more
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
but
yeah.
that you are so close in your activities and what you do to all the things about this country that make me both nervous, disgusted, and frustrated. So if you would like for my surprise birthday party to just hang out for longer, you are. I'm going to see you you're going to fucking hate me by the end of the week.
I've over-yesed. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm shirking to get this done. That's really what COVID has done to me. It has altered my line in the sand because it shook the sand out from everyone. So that meant that there was a line I do not cross. I am not late. I do not miss commitments. If I say it's happening, and it'll be the most perfect happening it's ever happened in the history of happens, right? That's gone now. That's so super gone now. I don't know who I am. And I don't like that about myself. Part of it is I need to try and get that back. And another part of it is I need to figure out how to just let that go because it's gone, right? So I maybe need to get comfortable with this is the way it is now. There is going to be a time when I promise
the way.
to do
Yeah.
something and like a deadline or what have you, and it doesn't happen. It's just disorienting. Anyway.
You have to go back to the Mandalorian lifestyle of this is the way.
Yeah, where I never show my face and die alone. That seems like a great plan for me. But that's part of it. When you live by a code that's really hard, that's right.
That's part of the conflict. You can have and believe and be defended by everyone. It's when you take your shit and put it on other people that you lose all of your rights to your shit. And in that, my friends, is my soapbox. Thank you so much. I'll be here all week.
Listen. There's so many things wrong with all of the litany of nonsense that I've shared here in this really jokey way. And the thing to light on is none of these are appropriate responses to the stimulus, right? None to the stimuli.
Correct.
None
Correct.
of these. Me standing up and screaming at a child's sports event, totally inappropriate. Children being allowed to
beat the shit out of with aggression.
To violate the spirit and the terms both of the game in a sanctioned way, totally unacceptable.
Are you giving me all these wrongs don't make a right kind
No,
of?
I'm telling you I'm embarrassed and I'm sitting here joking about it. I don't think it's okay for somebody to threaten another person with a gun. I also don't think it's okay for a husband to violate the terms of his marriage agreement. I don't think the way that he did it, not only the fact that he did it, I don't think the way that he did it is okay.
That's disgusting and wildly disrespectful.
Yes,
right.
How many more levels of violation can you layer onto this thing? And I don't believe that even the threat of saying, so I'm going to bring violence to the party, no matter how emotionally justified it might be, and even frankly, laws of the country in terms of you're on my property. Like
Stand
I don't
your
like
ground,
I
right.
just don't there's too much. There's no easy answer. There's no universal, simple, legal, moral answer to all this stuff. I just know that I've participated in a lot of things where I failed to do what I want to do as a person.
There is an answer, but nobody's following it. It's be kind, do good, show love. That is the answer. And very few people follow it to the point where the ones who do and believe it are not going to change. And that's great. And the ones who don't are not going to change. Like it's not anything anybody's looking to better themselves with. You think that school went home and said, I can't believe we didn't win. Or you think they high-fived, I really got a piece of them. Like it's just a different mentality. And you said they came up from Florida that I'm willing to skin tag.
Here's the thing. And I'm here in a public forum shaming them by name and making insults about their name and acting in a way where why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So I'm continuing to be something I don't want to be. It's frustrating. And even with that senator, who at least I'm going to maybe spare who the person is, it's really just the idea that we, all of us, even when we're trying not to, slip so easily into this nonsense behavior that unchecked is leading to things that are really scary in the world to live in. So I'm just trying to pull back and be better. And I feel like maybe on some karmic level, That's why the universe is like, yeah, let's just turn her voice off for a while because she's not using it the way she's supposed to use it. Didn't stop me. I'm still here.
Well, now from you, I need a little more information.
More?
I'm opening up my timer.
Oh, all right. Let's see if I've gotten a karmic release.
I'm giving you the one that you already started to do this morning. Oh, dear listener.
Uh-oh.
brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Write in if you have a 30 seconds with Amy that you would like me to ask her. I read the emails. She usually doesn't unless I send it to her from me.
I super don't. Yeah, super don't.
Maybe even not even then. So if you have something you would like Amy to, I guess, chime in on or answer for this, for the 30 seconds with Amy, I am open, I am interested, and I am always available to you. Today, 30 seconds with Amy, for those who don't know it, I give her 30 seconds to give me as many
of an item
from my topic as she can possibly aphasia out of her body.
Super
to locate.
Titsy-turvy. Let's hit it.
Okay. In the next 30 seconds, Amy, please tell me as many of these things you can. TV sitcoms.
Oh, Will and Grace, Cheers, Friends. Fuck.
Nope.
Fuck. I Love Lucy.
Good.
TV sitcoms. Something that's funny on the television. Dharma and Greg. I don't watch TV, man. I watch HBO and they're all people killing each other. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm. This is the Gary Shandling Show.
Stop.
Flight of the Condors.
This is the theme. That's my ringtone, right?
I'm so
The
sorry.
Gary
That
Show,
was
the
pathetically
opening theme.
bad. And
Gary
I love television.
I thought this would be an easy
My
one.
favorite buddy.
I
And
thought-
all of my references were from like 1990.
They were older. I was looking for Seinfeld.
Oh,
the
fuck!
Goldbergs. I was looking for
Golden Girls, which I never watch, but everybody loves that one.
My favorite's The Big Bang Theory. I can sit
yeah.
and watch that
Okay.
all day long and then watch it again. Yeah. So you came in at 7,
That's shitty.
but yeah, I think your max was the high teens for I think cheese for something like that.
Soup. I think I did well on soup,
Oh, okay, it was soup.
if I recall. But even
I can
then,
only-
I was
Yeah.
like Johnny Fever. Oh, WKRP in Cincinnati. I was like Johnny Fever
That was a good one.
because I was super hung from the night before and my brain worked all of a sudden. Instead
I got to
of,
tell
like,
you pulled Dharma and Greg. Like, what the fuck was
it's because
that?
yesterday when I was out with the dog, somebody was talking about Dharma as opposed to karma, and I've sort of had it rolling around in my head, and then I was fixating on how do you spell Dharma and the whole thing. So
That was not your best performance. I apologize.
So in keeping in theme with the week.
I'm going to blame it on your lack of voice because you had to concentrate on getting it out and thinking of it. I do want to just say that I did go this week for our last deliveries at the Shore House. Now I need to buy some like tables and mirrors and things like that. I brought a friend down with me to help me measure, look around, see where I can hang what, that kind of thing. A rug situation. I had some questions. I'm not real good at this. And because it's the whole house, it's not a room. Give me one room. And now I have a deadline on it because I have company coming in, well, this weekend too. So I'm down there with her. And I said, look, if you ever want to come back, you're going to need to understand, here's how I entertain at this beach house. We're going to meet up for dinner. We're going to have a great night. We're going to meet up for dinner. We'll have some drinks at whatever we do to lose our minds a little. Great music, tasty apps, whatever we have from like 6 p.m. on. I'm yours. It'll be great. And not that late, but whatever. So I said, your days, if you and your boyfriend come down here, are kind of your own. If I sit with you for an hour on the beach and you stay there the rest of the day, I'm leaving. I can't. It's not me. It's not. And she's like, well, why wouldn't you stay longer than whatever? And I said, well, because I'm sure I'm going to have to go home and pee. I'm going to have to, I'm sick of the tar and feathering of sweat and sand. That's just, how did I get sand in my teeth? I didn't even go to the beach today. Like that whole concept of sand in your every orifice, the fact that you're eating it, it's just, to me, it's just gross. It's not appealing. And she said, what do you mean you're going to go back to your house to pee?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it happen.
And I said, what do you mean? What do I mean? I don't know what you're not getting. Well, first of all, you go back to the house, you wash off your feet because your body just absorbs sand in the outdoor shower. You go inside and you get a little snack, maybe some grapes and cheese, and you pee, and then you wash your hands, and you can either, this is what I do, I nap after that because it was hot and gross. So I nap somewhere on an outdoor chair. No, she said, there's no reason. You bring that grape and cheese snack with you to the beach in a cooler.
If you're a pro, yeah.
And I said, all right, I get that, but there's the peeing. There's no real public restroom at the beach. Not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah, it's a big club you're not in. Okay.
She said, well, what the fuck do you think the ocean's for? I said,
it's a bingo. Yep.
Boogie boarding and having sea life live in it. And you know the reason, I've discussed this here, where I don't beach. You know it. When I was little, I was told there was an undertoad in the water, and it could really pull you in, the undertoad. So I've always pictured in my tiny little Missy brain growing up an enormous toad who pulls you in.
That is there. You have to brave it, but yes.
Well, not to pee, I don't. I don't ever have to brave it. So she said, here's her quote, everybody pees in the ocean.
Yes.
And you're nodding as if that is just fact, known truth.
It's correct. Yes. I would adore you to spend the rest of your days on this planet seeking out the one person who refuses to corroborate this universal truth. Okay? Because you can't.
All right, dear listener, you heard. Challenge issued. brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Facebook, go to Brilliant Observations, or Brillob Squad if you're an elitist bitch, which you all are, and I love it. You can go at Listen Brilliant on Instagram or Twitter. I desperately need to hear, do you pee in the ocean?
Yes. That's 100% yes.
I put it out on
Fish
something.
pee in the ocean. It's not a surprise. Every item in the ocean eventually pees in it. That's how it works.
So can I ask you, knowing that, is this cognitive dissonance for everybody else? Knowing that everybody shits and pees in the ocean, because I've never seen a fish pee. I guess I have. I thought it was poop, but whatever. How do you go in the ocean knowing it's just an enormous toilet?
Well, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to pee in the ocean for me. I can't speak to the ease with which others just drop their urine into our cosmic receptacle. But I'm here to say, because I have to sort of get my head around it. I have to think it through. I have to separate and say, we're doing it. This is what's going to happen. I go off so that there's as few people anywhere near me possibly that it could float to as possible, and then go. And that's, even thinking about the logistics of the bathing suit and all the rest of this. It's never easy. It is almost the same as deciding to pee yourself if you were like stranded. I imagine if you're a marathon runner and you can't stop and you have to go. So you just have to decide to pee while you're running. And I can't get my head around that because I can't get my head around running a marathon, but they do it. And I don't think they do it like, okay, it's time to pee. Let's go. Like, we're not all having a Depends party where you just sit around and piss yourself. But there's part of it where you have to decide.
That
this is
party
the choice. Yeah.
sounds more appealing to me than
There
going
some
in the
dudes
ocean
in college,
to pee.
they had a Depends party. So they all put on Depends and they sat around and drank until they pissed themselves in the pants. That was their party.
That sounds more appealing to me than peeing in the ocean.
Well, I think
or going in the ocean where everybody pees.
I think the fundamental flaw here is not peeing in the ocean for you. The thing, because there's a threshold much higher that you will not breach, which is the concept of remaining at the beach past the point where you have to pee. You've already decided, I don't want to be here. So anything that pulls you off the sand,
I'm a fan.
I'm hungry. Bye. Peace out. I'm not bringing sunscreen because I'm not staying here long enough for the sun to kiss my flesh. I mean, it's like when I go to the beach, the whole objective is to marathon this shit. How can I stay here and never leave? How can I be in this place with these waves before the sun comes up till long after it goes down? Can somebody do a fire? Will they bring me a cocktail or 30? Is there a cooler or somebody's going to bring me a sandwich wrapped in something? Or is it a fantastic place with someone in white flip-flops or sneakers is coming with a tray? God bless America. Let's go. I want to be at the beach the whole
Let's
time.
go.
So I don't think so. Peeing with this giant, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to make this happen. Let's go. I have never, nor would I ever, nor do I know anyone who has ever deuced it in the ocean. That's ridiculous. There may be an errant weird kid who accidentally squeezed one out because they were playing so busily they forgot what they were doing or had no sense or who knows what. But it's not like that's the plan. Like, okay, we're going to go poop our pants. So do we dig a hole? I know. Let's make it float. Let's go wade into the water. I mean, it's just sickening.
God, could you imagine?
It's just sickening. Yeah, it's sickening.
Dear listener, has that happened to you? I had an arrangement with my husband that if we were to do a beach house, because I think I would have preferred a lake house. Anyway, I had this arrangement where I had to be close enough to home to use my bathroom. So he, before we purchased, said, all right, I'm doing the test. It is 120 seconds from sitting with toes in the sand at the water washes up on you to sitting at the turlet in my first floor.
You picked a good man. You picked a good man.
He's like, it's exactly 2 minutes of a walk. That's because I had to wait for the light to change. We crossed one main road and that was it. He's like, 2 minutes and I said, I can sphincter for 2 minutes. Like I can get where I need to go.
I've been holding this in reserve because I have so much respect for you and I'm so impressed with everything that you're doing.
Until right now.
No, this is all still true. And I didn't want to lay this out there and lay this on you. But I do want to just simply say it is really important to me that you acquire the skill of self-sustained swimming. You don't have to swim for fun, but it is important to me that you know how to protect your life. This month or something is National Let's All Learn to Swim or something. They put out the statistics of how many adults don't know how to swim, and typically it's something that is associated with a lack of availability in areas that need it. So
right, city kids.
Yeah, so it's folks who really do need this skill, weren't exposed to it, and then as an adult, it's trickier to learn, like languages. It's your body is physically geared to learn certain things at certain developmental stages, including language. It's easier to absorb languages when you're younger than when you're older. It's just harder. Swimming is the same.
Which is why in your head you have every lyric to every song you learn in a pocket of ages. That's the way your brain worked. That's the way your body retained. So yes, I absolutely get that. Which is why I couldn't go back now to be an interpreter. My brain just doesn't work that way anymore. The sign language I know, that's it. And I'll use and it'll be great, but I don't see major milestones happening past there. So you're telling me you want me to swim because I'm in a dangerous place to be if it ever happened where I needed to?
Yes, that's true, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is I want you as an adult to have the skill so that you can, in every circumstance, be able to speak and model for all others you encounter and say, I know how to swim. I didn't know how to swim for a long time, and that's unsafe. I'm not an unsafe person. So I put myself through the tough paces of making myself safer. I did it. You can do it too. That's what I want for you. I also want it for you because I don't ever want you to be in a situation where a preventable tragedy could happen. So I don't care if you know how to swim for funsies. I don't care if you look pretty when you do it. This is about survival. So that's a very different kind of swimming class. Simple things like getting your mindset to a place where you can automatically flip on your back and float.
Tread water.
No matter what is, even if you can't tread water.
That's how we taught the kids. You know, it was because, dear listener, if you don't know, I don't know how to swim. That is number one in this conversation. Which
sort of factors into why this whole notion of beach house is how in the world did you
Ludicrous.
agree to this anyway?
Ludicrous.
That's how fucking awesome you are. Okay, continuing.
Well, my husband has a super stressful job and he wants and needs a place to go. And I didn't like that it was always so far away that we booked a flight. Now it's close enough that he's so annoying that he's got to run there every 10 seconds he's off. Nonetheless, when the kids were super little, I knew, I mean, a kid in the pool, you just put your hand out and you pick them up if they're drowning. It's not really but I knew that one day they'd have to save me. So when they were 2 years old, they did at the local university those swim classes where they drop a baby in and they flip over to their back and then they find their way on doing a little backstrokey to the side of the pool. So I have basic knowledge. I know I sat on the side of every pool for 10 years of day camp or 10 years of overnight camp, 6 years of day camp, counselor, like the whole thing. But I have a 50-year-old irrational fear of the water and the toad.
I don't think either of those fears are irrational. And I think you framed it really well. When you say, I don't know how to swim or I can't swim, I think instead what is closer to being true is I'm not good in the water. I've been in pools with you. I don't know people.
I have no trouble going in the water. It's refreshing.
That's amazing.
It's delightful.
I don't know people. Well, I don't know people who don't know how to swim. However, but I can't envision someone who doesn't know how to swim who gets into the water up to her tits. I don't know how you can fucking be that brave. I just don't. So something tells me that the phrase, I don't know how to swim, is an overarching overstatement and that you know more than you let on. You just don't like it. But at the same time, brushing up on those things and getting out of your own mindset issue.
Yeah, we've gone to Florida together. I've been
in
like
the pool.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's fucking hot down there. That's where Satan lives. So that's where you have to stay cool. And at the beach, there's a breeze that comes off the water. My house is air conditioned. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law just put in a pool that takes up their entire backyard. Not that it's a big backyard. It's a dipping pool. And as soon as they finish that, I will consider it my personal pool club, and I will go from the beach where they can sit with us and walk home in 120 seconds to take a dump to their house where I can walk out to the pool and put my feet in and cool off.
No, what was interesting is the guy on Today's Show, Craig somebody, his brother doesn't know how to swim, and they filmed him learning how to swim, and he was doing really, really well. And then in the middle of one of his swim lessons, he had a freak out. And
we call that a panic attack, but yes, a freak out.
He immediately weird hustled over to the wall, which wasn't that far away, and clung to it like he had just, been projectile exploded from a boat. Like it was a weird thing to witness. And that's another reason why it's so topical for me right now, because I thought at any moment, it's not a lack of skill. It's the mindset of...
It's mental.
The mindset can fuck you up. And that's the same as, me driving a car, right? And having a mindset issue about any part of driving the car that I'm not great at. I will, I could get into an accident. So that's a scary thing. So anyway, that's all I was just saying.
I'll drive anywhere. If you swim for me, I'll drive for you.
That's similar. Do you know what I mean?
If you swim for no, I get it. If you're driving and there are trucks on the road and you have this fear of trucks and all of a sudden trucks are on both sides and a shoulder
maybe you naturally when you're in that situation make a wrong move. Like you naturally want to forget, instead of going straight, you like turn your hand just a little bit and now you're across the lane and now you're in an accident. Like simple things that
or you get off at an exit and you're like, that wasn't my exit. What do? Do I reverse back onto the highway? No, you never reverse back onto the highway. You stupid fuck. Okay. You get off, you turn left and you get back on. Stop. Okay. People.
Okay. All right.
I've seen it a lot.
All right. Okay. I live in the South. I've seen a lot. Okay.
Mallory's best insult, my daughter's best insult to somebody that wasn't me. What I know, it wasn't me. She said to someone, I heard her say, you know what? You look like you can't swim.
Oh my God. Ouch.
Like, what the fuck does that mean? She's like, it's insulting. And I'm like, I can't swim. You look like my mom? Like, what are you saying?
Oh, my
Ouch.
stars.
Yeah, she's not always kind. She's got great insults, that one. You just try to bob and weave to try to dodge them.
Oh, you look like you can't swim.
Like, what does that even mean? You know it's insulting and
know.
it's brutal, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Very weird. You can't process dairy, can you?
That's the same
Such
thing.
a weird flex.
You look like you are intolerant.
Thank you.
Lactose
I'm
intolerant.
sensing an egg allergy. Yeah.
Yeah, like what? So what? Peanuts?
What is that?
Peanuts are a no-no? Is that what you're saying? The most common allergy, the nut allergy. That ain't right.
Poor nuts.
Brian!
Well, I don't know if it's in any way important for you to wade waist deep into the ocean and urinate, but I do feel like wading waist deep into the ocean is an important thing for you to do. Does that feel like you would ever do that?
Oh, yeah, of course. If it's fucking hot on the beach and I walked the whole 2 minutes to get there, I set up the chair. Stop it. I set up the chairs. I'm schwitzing now. Would I walk into the ocean? Yeah. Am I much less likely now that I know that everybody pisses in it? Yes, I'm much less likely. I wasn't doing it before. I would if I wanted to cool off. Dip your hands in, rub it on your shoulders, the whole this girl can't swim bullshit. But now that I know what I'm rubbing on my shoulders is urine and potentially feces juice.
There's no feces juice. Nobody's juicing it in the ocean purposefully.
Hey, I'm at Starbucks. Can I get some feces juice?
2 shots of feces, please.
Just the juice.
I want a feces pieces sundae.
That's what I call.
Gross.
We used to go to camp where there were geese everywhere. I'm like, they just left you geese's pieces everywhere. Why? It's so gross.
Ew.
But feces pieces are even better.
Super gross. Super no.
I don't see myself going it. I will let you know. Actually, you can let dear listener know because you're coming for a week.
I will report. Are there no pools in our environs? There's a beach because we're at the beach because who needs anything other than the beach?
I don't know. Did our friends rent a house that has a pool?
Oh, I don't care about them. Did you put in a hot tub? Did I hear you say?
No, but my sister-in-law has a dipping pool.
For some reason,
so we'll
I thought you were
there.
getting like a hot tub installed or something. I forgot.
There's no room for that.
Okay,
it's
fine.
very small. You'll see. It's very small. There's no space for it.
Okay.
You're laughing at me.
I am. I know what mansions in Margate are like.
It's tall,
really
but it's small.
There's only 9 floors. And there's no elevator. I understand. I'm teasing you a little bit. I'm super excited.
I'm teasing you a little bit.
I'm super excited for you and for
to
this.
bathe with feces pieces.
And you are going to have the transformation of your life.
I'll be a beach girl.
And discover that this is your new happy place. You will discover that this is your new happy place.
Well, I mention the candy shop.
I think that that's by design.
Brian, I would like to apologize now.
Uh-oh.
Our relationship has given you the incredible opportunities to travel to Boston and Manchester and Margate City, New Jersey, while your friendship to me is going to take me to the Czech Republic when we go visit your boy.
Bingo. For abso-fucking-tootly. It's already planned. Yes, that's a hell yes.
I think you just need to text me the dates because there's no way I'm not going to the Czech Republic. That is just too great of an opportunity.
They have an entire campus there. They go for a whole semester. It's not like study abroad and go figure it out or go to a partner college. They have specifically their department set up a campus with professors over there. So he will go and be in their dorm and do the whole thing. So it seems kind of protected for that level of stay.
Well, you need to find our hotel room. I'm confident your husband's too busy to go. So I'm thrilled to be your partner for that.
He will love waving to us from the airport because
Perfect.
I'm going. I know I'm going.
Perfect. That is someplace that I would like to visit. And the fact
now we have a reason.
It's super convenient. And the thing for me is putting it on the calendar, right? That's my biggest obstacle. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to go in September to see our friend Sarah who lives in Portland. And I'm like, September.
Why is the word supposed to in there?
Because if I don't put a date and if I don't do it, it's never going to happen. So I need to figure out the dates I'm bringing my kids to school. I need to figure out as soon as like the loneliness sets in, I need to get out before that happens.
Is there an event or is it's time and the invitation was offered, so you're doing it?
Yes, choice B.
Okay.
It's time. It's about time.
Absolutely long past. You know this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going.
I've never been to Portland. And she's 20 minutes from like the Washington border.
I say go. I say make it happen.
I say who?
Get
I
out
say
of your
when.
own way and
I say how
do
much.
it. Nowhere is safe. No cocoon is impenetrable. So go and live the fun stuff and take the minor calculated risk.
And the note I'll leave you on as we depart for today's recording is you said no area is safe. I would like you to know that for the last 8.5, 9 days, my son has been in quarantine because he has COVID.
You're kidding me.
No.
How are you doing?
What do you mean, how am I doing? I'm doing fine.
How are you doing? I know he's fine. He's got a doctor in the house, and the way that you just dropped this out right now means that he's totally fine. My mind has clicked there. This is momentous. How are you?
I'm better than I thought I would be because I do have PTSD from COVID and being locked in. But my PTSD, intellectually, I've determined that it's because of the fear and everything from when there were no vaccines.
Yes.
And that is something that has lingered for me, like other people get. This is and our family of 4, our nuclear has been virus-free since 93. Like we've just been. So yeah, I'm good. And he's creeping slowly out of quarantine because he's fine, but we definitely locked him up for a while. Where'd you get it, son? Remember when you said I can't go to the Sixers game unless I wear a mask?
Oh.
I said, I of course I remember as I said it. And yeah, well, I didn't wear a mask. Yeah. So.
And then did he have symptoms or did he take a test for some other reason?
He had cold symptoms. And I said, that's not a cold that you have right now. Nobody in this house has allergies. None of us, which is shocking, right? Yeah. Which is shocking. And this is a horrific season, worse than ever, I think.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe because you can get allergies at any age, sudden onset, whatever, at any age, which floors me too. But yeah, go ahead. We were joking. You got your 4-pack from the government. And he's like, oh yeah, fine, because he's a kid. I'll fucking test. I don't care. I'll test. I'm like, go ahead.
Thank God he did.
And he did. And then I didn't see him then we went to the beach for a few days. And while we were down there, he was home, still in his room. And we get the emails from Grubhub. He ordered 3 times. And by the time we came back, I'm like, how is it you've spent more money on food as a solo practitioner here? A practitioner of nothing, mind you, but a solo human. And we were away with 3 of us, and we didn't spend that much money on food. And we ate so much better than you did. What the fuck is going on here? So, yeah, that was 8-9 days ago. Yeah.
You made it through the rain.
Yep. And the rain's not going to hurt me. You got it.
So I'm really proud of you that this very scary, very real trauma visited your house in a way that you were able to deal with your family and with yourself and didn't have to reach out
right
and
now.
be crazy.
Feel seen.
I'm just trying to say, the fact that you weren't on the news as, this just in, Philadelphia area woman loses
Sends
shit
her
on
son
front
to carriage
lawn.
house.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't have a carriage house.
So there's a whole lot of love coming my way to you because you deserve it. And I'm super grateful that you weathered this crazy, crazy storm. Of course, 100% of the awareness goes on to Ethan. Is he healthy? Is he well? That's assumed by the way that you even dropped this in here. So I know that he's well.
Oh, he's great.
And at the same time, it was inconvenient for him and scary for him and no fun for him and the shits for him because he has to now go tell mom. Guess what?
He ate really
I
well.
fucking lied. I fucked around and found out, mom. Yeah.
But that's the other thing. Okay. He said, I wouldn't do it again, right? He said, I learned my lesson. I wouldn't do it again. And I said, I hear what you're saying, but here's what you sound like to me. I fucked this girl without a condom and she got pregnant, but I wouldn't do that again. Yeah, because who told you to use a condom? Why do you discredit every fucking thing I tell you all the fucking time? I don't understand.
It's a fair analogy. I don't think it's a fair analogy. I don't think.
Why? I told you to wear a mask to keep
sex.
you safe.
I think it's texting and driving. I think
Okay,
it's
that's just-
I think it's texting and driving.
Well, one could kill you.
Both could kill you. And I think that texting and driving is equally calamitous. I think that we all do it and we all have a brush and then we say, I will never do that again. And then we all do it again.
I don't do it again.
It is texting and driving.
I don't text and drive.
There's
I get to a stoplight.
I'm
and
glad
I'll
to
text.
hear it. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear it, but there's a lot of permutations. There's glancing at the phone. There's using the phone or the interior net. There's eyes off the wheel,
Yes,
eyes on
absolutely.
technology.
I
right?
see it pop up on my screen
Right,
that so-and-so
right.
texted, and then I poke it. So, yes, I am looking away, but that's the same thing as changing the radio station, which I do with my thumbs.
Exactly. So that's where I relate not wearing a mask, because the reality is it's a judgment call when to put the mask on. Nobody is at 100% compliance of all the mask all the time. And I don't think it's necessary all the mask all the time. It is a judgment call, but we are, all of us as a United States community, failing at the judgment call. So,
Dear listener, thank you for listening this week. We are grateful for you. We are glad you're still with us. We are welcoming you if you're new to us. Again, write us. Tell us what's going on with you
We're
and
lonely.
answer the super important questions like, do you pee in the ocean?
yes.
Cake by the ocean?
All you have to do, it's honestly, I feel like even in Burlap Squad, all you have to do is just yes. The whole post. That's it. Just the big word yes. Because it's so, come on. Nobody doesn't.
I don't pee in the ocean.
You don't go in the ocean.
I'm going to be going in the ocean. And a listener, Brandy, wrote, she said, you'd have to go in the ocean to pee in the ocean, and I don't go in the ocean. And I thought, let's
My
be friends.
sister is here. Yes.
Let's be friends.
God bless you, Brandy.
Do you have a 90-minute timeline for the second
How
you get
far
to the
are you
beach?
away from the shore? Because
Meet me there.
got something to say.
Meet me at my postage stamp. We'll play. Thank you. We love you. And bye.
Happiness and joy. Bye.
Be kind, do love, make love, show joy.
All the things.